In this video, I will plan out the menu for the entire month of January in my Erin Condren monthly planner. I'll also be using this Cultivate What Matters meal planner pad. Hi, I'm Kristen and I post functional planning videos on my channel a few times a week. If you're like me and you need a gentle reminder to just keep it simple, please make sure you're subscribed and I'll be right back. Usually whenever I do my monthly menu plan, I draw out my grid, but this month I am using this new product from Planner Kate. It's a perpetual calendar. This is what you might be familiar with if you've seen my menus before. I draw it out with a marker on the line notes page, but Kate came out with that new perpetual calendar sticker and I knew that it would be perfect to cover up that habit tracker that Erin Condren put on the monthly planner dashboard that I just don't really like. The sticker sheet comes with a Monday start or a Sunday start and the design is separate, so if you wanted to keep it neutral, you totally could. I also really like to use these Cultivate What Matters wildcards. These are free and downloadable on their website. I like to use it to pre-plan out my menu for the month, and the Go-To Dinners wildcard is great because it just has all of the things that I know we like to eat. It's just an easy cheat sheet. Using my pre-plan, I can fill in the ideas of what I thought we might want to eat for dinner this month. Actually, I added a New Year's Day label here just to remind myself that this is the day that I wanted to make some special meal items for New Year's Day instead of what I had written spaghetti there, but I changed it and I moved spaghetti to this night here. We like to do fend for yourself nights, and I used to do that one time a week, but now I'm doing it both weekend days because my son is older and he does like to cook his own food a lot. He's interested in cooking and he's kind of a little foodie, so this gives him an opportunity to make some of the things he likes and just to kind of feel a little more independent, and that is something I'm trying to teach him, so this works out for us. One of the menu items that I am going to be doing this winter when it's cooler are sheet pan dinners in the oven, and these are things that are just, it's like a protein, a sturdy vegetable, and usually some potatoes. Cut them up, season them good, throw them all on a sheet pan, throw them in the oven, and then they're done. And it's all like easy cleanup, and I like to do chicken and then broccoli and carrots and onions and either sweet potatoes or russet potatoes cut up. I also like to throw like a piece of salmon on there just so that I can have that for lunches during the week. And it's really easy to double this and make extra protein to eat in other meals throughout the week as well. On Tuesdays, we'll either alternate between tacos or some stir fry type thing. These are two meals that I know that my son will eat leftover without needing to be doctored up into a different kind of meal. He's kind of picky when it comes to leftovers, and so I tend to eat the leftovers for lunches throughout the week, or I eat them on fend for yourself nights. He's just kind of picky about textures and things of reheated foods, so I save a leftover night for the night after we've had something that I know he'll eat leftover, and that's always like a rice-based dish or tacos. To prevent having too many leftovers, I do tend to select meals or recipes that I know are not going to already have a lot of leftovers. We are a smaller family, and so something that makes like 6 to 8 servings is just tends to be a lot of food that might go to waste. So I will either have those recipes or freeze half of them in advance to make on another night in maybe in another month. And that's just how leftovers work for us in our family. This weekend, I am moving the Fend for Yourself night to Friday instead of Saturday because we have plans on Saturday to do a family night, and we like to do like a charcuterie board and a movie on family night, so I just swapped those out. This month we're doing a lot of repetition just to kind of recover from the holiday season and all the cooking and all the rich foods and just the complicated recipes that we've been trying. I'm just kind of over cooking and the mental energy that cooking and menu planning and grocery shopping and all of that stuff requires of me. So we're doing a lot of repetition of like burgers and spaghetti and tacos and the easy stuff that I don't really have to think about. So now I'm done with this meal planning cheat sheet and I can get rid of it, but the go to dinners cheat sheet wildcard thing I am actually going to keep so that I can remember these items. And actually a lot of these items I didn't add to this menu, and so there's a bunch that I'm going to be able to add to other months, and I just want to keep it and reuse it. And so I'm going to put it in the back of my planner and create a notes page back here. I already have a list going, but this one was the most recent one I made and I just don't want to lose it. Now it's time to figure out the final menu for the week, and I do this each week when I sit down to order groceries. I reassess our schedule and I look at the menu and make sure everything is still going to work, and I put my final plan on this meal planner notepad from Cultivate What Matters. I really like this notepad because there's enough room for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, as well as snacks, and a spot to write what I can prep ahead of time. And I like to use that space to make sure I'm thawing out the meats from my freezer that I need to thaw out the night before. When filling this out, I like to go ahead and write the dates in, and I write in all the dinners first because I already have that part planned out. I don't usually add any kinds of lunches or breakfasts to my monthly meal plan because those tend to either be, like I said, leftovers for lunch for me because my son eats lunch at school. I don't need to worry about lunches for him most of the time. And then the breakfasts are just kind of like a rotating thing, and I don't usually need help remembering what to make for breakfasts. And so I'm filling out here all of the different things that I need to thaw out depending on what we're having for dinner the next night. And that has just been such a game changer for me. I don't know, it's such a simple thing to have it on the list, but it really works. So now I'm just filling in the breakfasts because, these are all just kind of in my head and it's just easy to write them down. So we're not having too many of the same things back to back. One of the things I get asked all of the time when people see my monthly menu plan is, what do you do when your schedule changes or you just don't want that food again? I really want to stress that our monthly menu plan is not set in stone. This is an idea bank so that I don't have to sit down every single week to plan a menu of new things. I only have to do it one time instead of 5 times, and it saves so much time and energy, especially with these other tools like the wild card with the go-to dinners and stuff like that. If our schedule changes and I don't end up making one of the things that I planned, I can just keep those ingredients for the following week, and then it will take the place of another meal. And by the time I order groceries, I will know and not, order something for one of the meals during that week. The other option is just to use those ingredients for a different meal the next week. We tend to eat the same types of foods, and so those ingredients that I didn't use this week might work for a different recipe next week. The shopping list feature on this notepad is it's not labeled, so you can break it up however you need to efficiently grocery shop. I don't grocery shop in person anymore. I use my Walmart Plus membership to have my groceries delivered, and so I don't need to break it up by the area of the grocery store. So I break it up by like food groups, so meats, produce, grocery, which is like the middle of the grocery store, like boxes and cans and things, and then refrigerated and frozen, and household and miscellaneous. I do it this way because it's easier for me to make the list that way. It's really just how my brain works. It's not necessarily for shopping. It doesn't really help me shop any faster. It just helps me make the list faster. I just go through my menu for each day and add in you know, all the meats for that day, and then move to the next day and add all the meats for that day and produce and so on and so forth. Since this particular month is just kind of recovery mode, it's all easy recipes. It's things that I don't actually need a recipe for. It's just foods that I know how to make. I'm not having to consult any recipes, but if I was making a new thing or something I wasn't super familiar with, I would have the recipe out and available here while I was making the list, just to make sure I didn't miss anything. If you shop in person, you could totally divide up your shopping list based on the layout of your grocery store. I like to start in the back of the store, so I would put that at the top of the list and then just work your way back up to the front of the store. Whenever I'm done with this, I will tear off the page from the pad and I put the menu plan side on my refrigerator. And then one of my favorite parts of this menu planner pad is that the shopping list side is perforated. So you can actually just easily tear it apart. So the menu can stay somewhere where your family can see it. I like to put mine on the refrigerator with a magnet. And then I take my shopping list up to my office and use my computer to order groceries, but you could just tuck it into your purse or bag or your notebook or whatever you take with you to the grocery store, and then it's just ready to go. I mentioned earlier that I use Walmart Plus to order my groceries and have them delivered to my house. This saves me so much time and money. I didn't think it would at first, but once I tried it, I will never go back. The time savings is just a given. It's an obvious thing, how you would save time not having to go all the way to the store and do the shopping and then come all the way home. But it saves me money because I'm not impulse shopping. Ever since I started using Walmart Plus, I've been not spending as much on groceries because I'm not just adding things to my cart as I'm walking around the store. Another way this saves me time is that on the Walmart Plus website, you can select from all of the items that you typically order. And we do tend to order the same things over and over and over again. And I can just go and click add to cart on all of these things. And it just, I don't have to type anything in the search bar. These are things I already know I like. In the 2 years that I've been a Walmart Plus member, I have saved almost, well, over $1,000 just on delivery alone. And then the groceries just magically appear at my front door right when I need them, and it saves me so much time and money, and there's so many other great perks to the Walmart Plus membership. I'd love to talk about them if you want to hear. Just let me know. So hopefully that answered some of the questions I get a lot. A lot of times, I think the most frequently asked question is what happens if your schedule changes? And you know, like I said, this is not set in stone. This is an idea bank. This is just so I don't have to come up with all of these ideas every single week. I've already done it. I can pull from this each week. Some weeks it stays exactly the same. Sometimes I don't make any of it because our schedule goes crazy or I get sick or something happens and then we just kind of fall back on a fend for yourself kind of situation. So you know, it's not just because it's written here doesn't mean we have to do this. Like today is not even January 1st yet. And if I don't want to have burgers on February 2nd, I don't have to just because I wrote it here. So it's not set in stone. It's literally just an idea bank to remove that the mental stress of figuring out a menu every single week. And this way, it's not just the same thing every week. I can get some variety of ideas in without having to sit down and plan it. So anyway, I hope this answered some of your questions. And if you have any more questions, of course, leave them in the comments and I'll try to get to those. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you really liked it, please consider subscribing because I post functional planning videos on my channel a few times a week. And if you liked this one, you're probably gonna like those ones too. And I would love to see you in the next one. Until then, embrace your imperfections and just be you. Bye.